Egypt. It has a magical effect on a lot of people. They just start vibrating inside. They feel a tingle. There's a vague connection. It's more than just they're interested in it. They were there. Women, I know a lot of women are fascinated by Egypt. It's the mystery, the beautiful art, the incredible architecture. You could go back to the whole theory of Atlantis, because it's one of the...
Talk about that for a minute here. I got to get up and get a cup of coffee. Tell me what your impression of Atlantis is, because that's exactly what the book I started 40 years ago, is about.
Well, okay, now it's 10:59 my time. How much longer is our show going to go on, Clay? How much time do I have?
We got 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay, sure. Well, I've never really been interested in Atlantis. I've never been interested in UFOs or psychics. It's sort of life has sort of forced me to take these things a little bit more seriously than is my nature. I'm a practical guy. I've been a practical politician. I had small businesses. I've been a father, and I'm a grandfather. I'm not really into all this esoteric stuff by nature. I did read a book once, and it started to really ring true with me, because what I had found out through my own research was that all around the world there were civilizations which did three things. They built pyramids, they worshipped the sun, and when their loved ones died, they turned their bodies into mummies. Characteristics, and this is, for example, you had the Mayans, you had the Canary Islanders in an island off the coast of Africa. You have had reports from Tibet in the Asian race and among West African tribes, the Hopi Indians in North America, South American Indians, the Bible story of the flood, Plato's story, which he says he got from the Egyptian high priest about Atlantis. All these stories say the same thing. It was a great civilization, which is actually amazingly high-tech. It was originally virtuous and brave and law-abiding, with strong families and strong belief in God. But later on it became rich and greedy and corrupted. It began tampering with the forces of nature in a high-tech way, and which began triggering natural disasters, digging deep into the bowels, into the crust of the earth itself. And they say that this great island civilization began to sink, and finally, because they didn't stop doing these evil practices, in one day and one night, this whole island continent, as big as Australia, just disappeared beneath the waves. But already some people had been abandoning it, and so both good and bad people, this is how the story goes. I'm not saying I believe in it, but I see interesting indications it might be true.
Well, it's interesting because you just...
Atlantis, and bad people left Atlantis and fled and survived. The Mayans, I believe, and the Aztecs who did human sacrifice atop of their pyramids, I think they were evil refugees from Atlantis. And the Egyptians, many of the Egyptians, were good refugees from Atlantis.
But isn't it possible that these Atlanteans were actually the forerunners of us white race?
Yeah. Well, according to Edgar Casey, it was a continent-sized island. It was really huge, and there were different races living on it. And one end there was more one race, another end there was more the white race. I believe that a lot of what we call Atlantis, including the city with these rings and these moats and the magnificent civilization, I believe that was a white civilization. It's all tied in also with the concept of Hyperborea, and all the ancient peoples believed that there was some sort of Aryan...
recording has been completed.
All right, I just got to shut a few things down here. John DeNugent, his website is linked down there, and John, I'd like to have you back on sometime real soon.
Thank you, Clay. I enjoyed it.
We're out of time here, but I urge everybody to check out your website and let everybody know about this show. I think you did a great job here, and we've really got something. We got a past to be proud of, and I think we've got a way to make a better future.
Yes, indeed.
And next time I have you on, I'll talk more about your Solitarian, if you want to just mention that right now.
Well, the Solitarian hypothesis, I think it's more than a hypothesis, more than a theory, I think it's a fact, is that during the Ice Age, Ancient European white people came to North America and settled it, and fought the saber-toothed tigers and the giant cave bears, and they were survivors and thrivers in North America until the red man coming in from Asia when the Ice Age ended massacred the original white people who were the original inhabitants of North America, and thus white people are the Native Americans, not the red man, and their skeletons we're finding and tools and weapons from the Ice Age from all over North America, east, west, north, and south, indicating that white people were here 7,000 years before the red man came from Asia.
And if we want to go back, say 100,000, gee, what happened to the Cro-Magnon man and the Neanderthals?
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, the scientific facts that we now know, particularly after a major article in Science magazine from 2009, in the 2010 period, the Neanderthals never died out. They interbred with modern, more advanced humans, and the Jewish people have a lot of Neanderthal blood. What Neanderthals have is a sloping, sort of steeply sloping forehead, and they tend to have a weak chin. They tend to be extremely hairy. They tend to be short and have sort of a short, squat, fireplug type body. Very different looking from the tall, slender, blonde Cro-Magnon people. And when you look at Jews or some of the Arabic peoples, a lot of them look like they've got some Neanderthal blood in them.
They do, and that the hatred that I get from the Jews, and I get this on the internet and everything else.
Shoe. Please enter the call ID.
No, I'm through with you. Okay. And yeah, let me be cut off of that one too. Here. Okay.
Your show is scheduled to start in 22 hours 54 minutes.
Yes, I know, dear. Thank you. Okay. All right. Still with me, John?
The person whom you're trying to...
Oh, well, all right. Hey, thanks for listening. Show's over. That was John DeNugent. Thanks. All right, what do we got here? All right.